Okay, so we're going to be going over required tests for Oregon graduate counseling students. So that pertains to all of us here at Western. And as we go through the slides, there will be links that we will go over. We won't have time to click on all of them, but they will be uploaded for you to use later on as well. So just coming up, we're going to be going over the CPCE, the NCE, the NCMHCE, and then, of course, various resource links. So what these tests are about. So two of these tests are going to be approved competency exams. There are three options for competency exams for licensure for Oregon, and we're going to be talking about two of them. The Oregon Laws and Rules exam is also required as well. We won't be talking about that today, but that is required. And then Western Seminary students, we all must pass the CPCE in order to graduate. So today we're talking about the competency exams as well as the CPCE. MFTs have varying other requirements for licensure, and so they may have different competency exams. And so those would be things that if you're interested in that, you'd need to look into separately. So the CPCE is the Counselor Preparation Comprehensive Examination. It is required. It is linked to industry standards. It's similar to the state license exam in that it does have 160 multiple choice questions. So the format is similar. It's recommended to begin studying at least 2 to 3 months prior to this exam. And it's also recommended to take this exam at least one semester before graduation. There are several requirements in order to be approved to take this examination. You must have all prerequisites done. There will be an email being sent out from our program coordinator about when you can sign up for spots to take the test. And you can take this test through the Pearson online platform or at a testing site. And this is very comprehensive. So it's a practice exam for a pre-licensure competency exam. So this will prepare you for the content that you must know going forward for licensure. So the National Counselor exam is a competency exam, one of three choices. It has 200 multiple choice questions. So similar to the CPCE, this is what the CPCE prepares you to take, is the National Counselor Examination. This is required for licensure in some states. It is nationally recognized. It does lead to board certification. Similar to the CPCE, you will receive an email from the program coordinator at Western that it's time to start thinking about signing up for a spot for this exam. Western students should know that this exam is optional to take in your last year of school or last semester, but it is required for licensure. So if you don't take it before you graduate or around that time, you will need to take it either this one or another competency exam while you apply for licensure. It is $275, and there are various registration times and dates, and in the directory link coming up, we'll see how to do that. And there are several links that will be included in the preparation slot as well. So the NCMHCE is another competency exam choice to choose from. It's the National Clinical Mental Health Counselor Examination. It is a competency exam that is different. It does have clinical simulations of competencies instead of multiple choice questions. And it also leads to board certification as a national certified counselor. If you are also wanting to receive a specialization as a certified clinical mental health counselor, you must take this as well. This is required for that. This is also required for licensure in some states. So, like the NCE, um, either one of those two competency exams or both of them may be required for licensure in some states. To register for this test, you again will receive an eligibility email or information email from the program coordinator. You do need to submit an application to be approved to test. And so we'll talk about that later on because there are some caveats to that. It's another $275 fee as well. And all of these tests can be taken through the Pearson VUE testing sites or their online system. So it's all through the same testing company, and the fees are paid directly to them. Just like the NCE, if you're approved to take the test, if you would like to take it during your last semester of the program, instead of waiting, you can. And again, there are several links here that we'll go over and how to prepare for that. So commonly asked questions may be, which one do I have to take? All Western Seminary students are required to take the CPCE, and the NCE and NCMHCE is optional in our last semester. But if we are wanting to take our licensure test in Oregon as an LPC, we need to pick either one of those two in addition to the legal exam. So one competency exam, the legal rules, laws exam, either, both of those combined need to be taken within 10 years of applying for a license. And some states, this next question, any other info regarding the NCE or NCMHCE, both may be required in certain states. So depending on which state you are licensed or would like to be licensed in, both may be required. At least one is likely going to be required as a competency exam. Both allow you to become board certified, and both are also used to qualify as a recognized provider in military health systems. So there are some perks to taking those tests, and there are certain specializations that one or both may provide for you. And just as a side, the requirements for licensure in Oregon, there's some bullet points there, and we can follow that. I'll go down to these resources here. The other thing about applying, in order to take these tests, the NCE and the NCMHCE, we'll go back up here, is they both say you need to submit an application. The application, and I will go to a link here. The application will be an actual licensure application because the board needs to approve each applicant before they take a competency exam. And so in our resources and links page here, here is the link to request to take the exam. And this has to be filled out. You must be approved before you actually sit for the exam. And our program coordinator can help with this as well. So you'd fill that out. The state board directory is where you can find registration information. So if you type in Oregon, it will tell you all of, it will tell you who you can contact, as well as different examination site locations. And for the LPC, you can see that they give you a link to the handbooks for both tests. And that is also included here. You can find all of those links right here. And I will include this. So as we wrap up, I will include this in the slideshow. It will be attached. Please peruse the content and see if you can get all of your questions answered so that you're set up and you're ready to go for getting your licensure test. There are so many pieces of information that it's really important to be proactive about it and really do this ahead of time so that you're not caught off guard by requirements or exam dates or study time. And I believe that we all can do it. Here are some references that I've used and several websites. And for our program, we do have an info page that is being worked on by our program coordinator. We can all do it, guys. So take a look and I'll attach these resources. Thanks for watching.